Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can
Okay,
hear you.
good, awesome. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. Thank you for taking the time to talk today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. How are you? How's it been over there at home?
That's good. I just came like 1 week ago back from US to the Lithuania because I was training supposed to fight October 30. So the plans
Mhm.
changed and go back to
Right,
Lithuania.
right. So you have camp over here in LA, and then you go back home whenever there's no camp.
Yes, I always go, but this one was different because I couldn't get into a US, so I have to spend 2 weeks in Dubai. I was training in
Oh,
Dubai.
wow.
Then I just came to the LA for a training camp.
Yeah. Was it a visa thing? Like you couldn't get a visa over here?
Now it's different. They have visa, but they don't allow still with visa. You have to get like national exception, or
Yeah,
like so they couldn't
it's
get it.
it's so crazy how difficult the immigration system is in this country in the US. Like it's
Yeah,
so difficult for people to even just get like visas over here. And then
yeah,
then you have to like go back to your home country and then wait, and
yeah.
it's very frustrating. So I always feel so bad for like athletes and people that are trying to do business here and they can't get over here because of all the immigration stuff. But yeah, it's a very frustrating system. The US
Yeah.
immigration system needs a lot of work. But
A lot something.
yeah. So we'll get right into the questions. I just have a couple. It's not going to be a super long interview, but I really am curious about when you noticed that you were a really talented fighter. Because I always love to hear the stories of a boxer when they're like, there was this one specific moment that I knew I had it, you know?
I think it's not that I knew I'm talented fight something, but when you fight against the top guys who has achieved something in world championships, in European championships, in Olympic games, when you compete with them, if even if it's close fight, you lose or you win
Mm-hmm.
against, then you have some more confidence. I think. So I think it was in amateurs when I became European champion,
Mm-hmm.
and I started I switched a little bit because I was fighting, but I was also losing against men because I just came to the boxing 13 years old. I was fighting MMA eight.
Mm-hmm.
So I was winning almost all fights I won in MMA. So I had no competition here in Lithuania, but I
Mm-hmm.
saw in different countries for tournaments and I was always champion. So it didn't drive me. So I
Mm,
went boxing and it
yeah.
was very hard the first day.
Yeah. What made you switch from MMA to boxing?
The competition, I had no
Yeah.
competition. I was always champion and winning, so I wanted some challenges.
hmm
I like,
And do you prefer like just striking, like boxing over MMA?
yeah, I like more. It's my thing. I just went to the boxing gym, and after 2 months, I become Lithuania champion.
Yeah.
So it was a good thing, and then I continued.
hmm That's awesome. So you have your upcoming fight with Ugas, with your Dennis Ugas, which is a huge pivotal fight for you. So that's super exciting. I'm just kind of curious about what type of additions you might think about making for this camp, since it is such a big fight for you.
Yeah, I will go to because I know from November 8th they will open the border. I'm just waiting for a date, because now my team and his team are talking. I
Mm,
don't know if this fight will happen for sure because
mm,
maybe he will vacate the belt, and then
hmm
they will find another one, a highly ranked opponent, or
Right,
somebody who not for sure, but yeah,
right.
I think
Is
we
that,
should-
I mean, this is kind of an obvious question, but is that one of the most frustrating parts of boxing and the business of boxing is, getting fights being made and contractual agreements and all that type of stuff? And how do you deal with that as a fighter? Because that has to be super frustrating.
that's I think the hardest thing. The
Yeah,
fighters I think want to fight. That's why I like
right.
UFC. When you go to
Yeah.
the it's simple. They make and match the fighters, and
hmm
boxing, yeah, this guy doesn't want to fight this.
Yeah.
Because of the boxing, it's, I think Floyd made this because everybody's scared to lose their zero,
Right. It's
So
like the Floyd effect, the Floyd Mayweather
yeah,
effect. Yeah.
but let's look to the history and the old school boxing.
Yeah.
All the greats had the losses, and they competed. I think after loss you can come back, even stronger. You will get the motivation, and maybe they will. You can mix and match the welterweight division, especially now because of the new generation coming up,
Yeah.
and now current generation, you can mix and match the fights, and it doesn't matter if you lose or win. I think the fans will be entertained. If the fighters will give their heart.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So there's definitely a lot of fights to be made at 147. That's a really exciting division. Do you think you would move to 154 in the future?
Yeah, for sure. I will move 154.
Yeah. Who would you really like to fight there?
At 154?
Mm-hmm.
I think only Charlo. That's what I want to fight. Is the Charlo.
Yeah. And how would you approach a fight with him stylistically?
I don't know. From, when I always tell fans or somebody who asks this question, it's from outside, you can say, oh, I will try to do this and that.
Yeah.
But again, when you go to the ring, it's different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you just have to adjust to whatever they bring to you in the ring. Right.
I always try to find the key, during the fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like to visualize your fights beforehand?
Yes, always.
Does that help you a lot?
A lot, yeah.
Yeah. Because I've noticed that when I have conversations with fighters about visualization, when they really immerse themselves mentally in the fight and then they go through all of the possibilities, it's almost like you're physically doing that. So when the fight night comes, it's like you're just kind of replaying what you've already done in your head, which is really cool. Super, super interesting. The mind is very powerful. So yeah, that's good that you do practice visualization. So I'm also really curious about your training and your nutrition and conditioning. Can you kind of talk about what type of conditioning you do, and do you have like a strength and conditioning coach?
No, I'm training by myself, conditioning, because I know what I need. I know my body than anybody, and I have a degree in sports training systems.
Yeah.
So I'm very disciplined fighter, so it doesn't need somebody, to push me to the limit. I sometimes push much more other fighters push. So I know what to do exactly, and I just need a boxing coach, that who can hold me amidst, make a game plan, just to watch me all the time. I'm also very into nutrition because you have to keep your weight down and weight in a healthy way. I don't want to be dehydrated a lot.
Right.
So I'm trying. Yeah, I like nutrition, and I read a lot about it.
Okay, got it. So you do your own nutrition. You don't have like a nutritionist. Got it. Oh, so you do it all. You do it all yourself. That's pretty impressive. That's awesome. Do you cook as well? Like, are you cooking your meals?
I always only me because I don't trust anybody, because I know what I put into the food.
Yeah.
How much, what. So I have to cook by myself.
Wow, that's great. So you being from Lithuania, what are some of the differences that you see from the boxers over there and then the ones over here in LA?
In LA, we have like European style, and in my country, it's very small country, so there is no good boxers a lot, it's only few, so it's hard to get prepared for a fight, In LA, it's different. There is a bunch of fighters, and be the best, and everybody wants to prove something,
Yeah.
Sometimes gym we have better sparrings than the. So at Wildcard Gym is always it's good sparring.
Yeah, absolutely. So there has been a couple of fighters, big name fighters like Ryan Garcia and Tyson Fury, who have been super vocal about their mental health struggles. And I'm just curious on what you as a fighter think about, boxers being open about that type of stuff, and what's your opinion on that?
I understand something bad happens about the mental health. Yeah, you can be, something mentally can happen to you, but back to the days, like old days, like I always, bring the, like, as an example, all days, old school. So in 80s or 70s, there was like mental health problems? No. Everybody's supposed to work hard, everybody's supposed to find a way, It's easy to, something happens and give up or something, We all have bad times in life, but it's like how you will go. I went through the hell a lot of times and nothing. I never down, You have to pick yourself up and go. I don't know. I don't know how it feels. Maybe it's a big thing, but like I say, in the old days there was no mental health problems.
Do you think it could also be because of social media now, and how we have such an easy access to information, and it's so easy to share what's going on with our lives? So do you think that could be a part of it as well, that people are just more vocal because it's so easy?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think so. Some fighters read comments or something, they get insulted, and everybody's, attacking you or something, saying about bad family, and maybe then something, you feel bad, or you just want to disconnect from everybody. So that's why. I don't know.
Yeah. How do you personally decompress? Like at the end of the day, how do you kind of relax and separate yourself from boxing for a little bit?
I like to, spend my time with my friends, my girlfriend, all the time, do some things, go to the spa, swimming, So these kind of things. I don't like to party. I don't like to go, for nights. So I'm very disciplined. I know my job. I have to be always in. You never know in these situations when you get a call. So I always have to be prepared. I will relax. I will retire.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, last question. Can you talk a little bit about your relationship with Richard Schaefer? I know he's been with you, I think, since 2016 after the Olympics. So I'm very curious about what you think of working with him and, his new promotional company, Probellum.
He's and he helped me a lot. He said, Eimantas, be patient, your time will come. We will get you a title shot, So I was just working and training, and they are doing a good job on their part, Richard Ellis, So I have a good team, and they're working on these things. What I can do, just be prepared, go and get a victory. That's my job.
Absolutely.
They have their job to do. So he's very good, and we have good relationship. So we go sometimes for a lunch. And he's a very good guy.
That's awesome. Yeah, it seems like a very mutually beneficial relationship so far. So that's very exciting for you. That's super awesome. All right. Well, those were all the questions. So officially the interview's done. But thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. And hopefully that fight gets made. I would love to see you fight Ugas. Like, I really hope that gets made. That's so frustrating. It's crazy because it can even be ordered by the WBA, and that doesn't really mean, anything. Because you're right. Like, he can vacate or whatever. That's just the name of the game, I guess.
He's a little bit mad because he's supposed to fight Spence and get a big win. But let's not forget, he fought many Pacquiao, but he won like lottery tickets, to fight many.
Literally.
And he's now saying, I defended my mandatory against many. No, that wasn't, thing. He didn't fight many, He just got lucky, and maybe the right time and the right place. Now I am at the right place.
This is your moment where it's like your right time, right place. He had his right time, right place moment. No, that's super frustrating, but hopefully you get that. I also would like to see you against Virgil Ortiz. I feel like that would be super fun. I know a lot of people